Hey guys, welcome back to the Coach Spotlight powered by Rock Daisy. I'm your host, Ron McKeefrey, and excited to have William Fly with us today. William is the strength and conditioning director at Berkeley High School down in South Carolina, but he's been Mallard Creek High School as a strength coach, but then has the unique perspective of also being a football coach for over 10 years prior to that. And so he's always done strength, I would imagine. But, taking that to the weight room, that coaching mentality to the weight room, and bringing some technology in there is really cool, man. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us today.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
You're at a good sized high school. What are kind of some of the what are some of the non-negotiables for your program when you're talking about managing multiple sports, multiple athletes, various levels of ability and age group? What are some non-negotiables when you walk into your room?
Some non-negotiables that we have, at least from our school standpoint, is all of our foundational sports, rock and pillar sports, baseball, softball, basketball, football, they're all in class. That's one of the unique things about moving down here to South Carolina, where we have sport classes to where we're able to train during the school day, which was coming down here was kind of a foreign fact. In North Carolina, all of ours, that was after school. So being down here for start of going into year two, that's definitely a non-negotiable, having our athletes in class. That way they're guaranteed training time, whether it's 2, 3, 4 days a week. Other non-negotiables that we have is just how we carry ourselves through our sessions. We kind of have 3 phrases, standards that we kind of hold our kids to. We want our kids to live true to themselves. Don't be fake. Don't be phony. Create connection with others while you're in the weight room in our training session, and then just pursue excellence. Everybody's great, kind of looks different, and we want to embrace that. Whether it's a offensive lineman squatting 5 plays or whether it's the softball player, everybody has greatness in them, and it all's going to look different. And so we want to push to find out what that is.
You spent a lot of time on the field as a football coach, and then you go into the weight room. I don't know if you've always been a techie, but obviously introducing technology like Rock Daisy into your program. What do you say to the coach, that maybe isn't technologically savvy about kind of centralizing this data like you've done there?
Yeah, I kind of came up where started coaching in 2012, where maybe technology is a brand new thing. We were still burning DVDs. People had cowboy remotes and things like that. And then Huddle was kind of in its infancy and stuff like that. And now you're at a point now where you can't do anything without a Huddle or whatever football thing you use. And even on the sidelines now, every high school in the state that you go to has some sort of replay iPad system that they use to make adjustments and feedback to the kids. And they got TVs on the sideline. It's the same thing. Having new technology in the weight room is just, you're seem rather silly if you're not embracing technology. It's when in fact you have companies that do make it so easy to find small things or big things. You just kind of say, we're not going to use technology in the weight room. Well, then we'll take away your iPads on the sideline. Let me know how you'll do. Or we'll take away your Huddle and make you go meet coaches in the gas station parking lot at 2 a.m. to exchange film. I'm sure you don't want to go back and do that. So it's at a point now where it's a necessity, because kids live in this world and we have to find a way to live in their world at the same time executing our program at a
Yeah, I think you said 2 really important things there. One is, you got to meet the athletes where they're at, right? They live on their phones, they live on their iPads, they live in technology, and having them embrace that and kind of meeting them where they're at. I think that's super important. And I think the other part of that is, as a guy that's been doing this for 30 plus years, I can't just sit back and be like, I wish it was the way it was, right? The world's going to continue to change and evolve. And if I don't stay up with it, then I become extinct like the dinosaurs. And so I think that's important to embrace things. Generally, technology exists to make your life better. Everything can be abused, but at the same time, embracing it and finding the way to do it and make it a part of your program, I think is super important. What did your life look like before you kind of centralized your data with an AMS? Like what were you doing? What were the pain points?
I was Google Sheets, everything. But there's nothing wrong with Google Sheets. It's, if you can figure out the equations and how to make things work. And usually most places you go, at least public schools, you're going to get Google Drive for free. So you have a free, unlimited storage. But, when you're making complicated equations and tabs upon tabs upon tabs upon tabs, you just kind of get lost in the sauce. You can't find what you need, or it takes you 5 to 6 minutes to find what you need. Having an AMS, especially all the things that we use. We have, a Node GBT, we have Dasher, we have Skyhook Jump Mat. Rock Daisy just, I believe, announced like a partnership with Player Data. So we used their GPS this past season. So having all of it in one place, just pressing the sync button instead of having my phone right here, iPad right here, and all these things, clutter desk, it's all now just on a computer screen. I can find what I need in 30, 45 seconds.
Yeah, I think everybody out there is they feel like they can do it themselves with Excel or Google Sheets or whatever, and you become pretty talented on those platforms, right? Like I can make any graph, I can make anything look pretty, those types of things. But like you said, you're one equal sign away from maybe wrecking your entire visualization of that data, and so housing that is better. And then, people progress to, Tableau or Power BI, and then maybe even going into some coding with R or Python. But like, to me, it's, the hard work's been done. You should just kind of go and take advantage of it, especially with the platform being like it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when you went to an AMS system and you started to share that data with your athletes in these, with this visualization and access to that information just a few clicks, what changed in your athletes when you were able to kind of give them that feedback?
Well, and just for the one is that, we're not having to track down paper and pencils. No, I think in a week, we probably train almost 280 kids going from 7th grade to 12th grade. And then having folders and baskets or papers and things like that, it just got to be cumbersome. And now, every rack that we have in the room is outfitted with an iPad. My kids can easily, punch their name in, find today's date, and find the work they need to, and we rock and roll. Something that would have taken 5, 7 minutes, they can pluck away and do in 30 seconds. And all of the crazy equations and all that stuff's already done for me. It's all shown on that weight room feature on the iPad.
You were shooting this on a Wednesday. If I walked into your weight room on a Wednesday and was overlooking your shoulder there, what dashboards, what tools would you be using on a daily basis?
Now we just kind of touched on one of those, our weight room feature that we use for our kids when they come in the weight room. So we're pretty lucky that we can put up to 5 kids on an iPad, and it looks really clean to where everybody can see what they need to see. And we can put, they know, see the date, our nutrition topic that we're going to cover for that day, that we'll cover at either the beginning or the end of class, and everything's mapped out for them. Here's set one. We're doing some week one triphasic eccentric work. Hey, we're doing 4 sets of 3. Here's the weight percentage, and there's the tempo. And then as we keep going through, every kid has individualized weight that they need to be using. Everything's mapped out, so there's not a reason why a kid doesn't know what to do. And then even for some of our stuff, everything's tagged with videos. If I can't tell them right now, they can press the video, and there's a video of someone executing the movement efficiently. And so now it's like having an extra coach on the floor at the same time. So maybe I can't get to them, they can easily pull up the video. And at the same time, not only do we have our weight room view on the iPads, but now we can have the entire workout for the entire class pulled up on our TV that's in the weight room using the group workout board. So again, you'll see the workout listed on the left, and then every kid that's in the class, they're set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4. Every movement that's a prescribed weight, it's all up there. And they can even see the instructions. Right, this class right here, they're entering the isometric phase of our triphasic work. Hey, it's a 5 second float from the floor, 4 reps. The next 2 sets, 4 reps, 85%, 5 second float from the floor. So it's on the iPad, it's on this giant TV. So there's really not a reason why you don't know what's going on. And it allows our kids to be held accountable to some extent. Hey, this is what you need to do. Uh, and it kind of helps everybody else. Hey, that's not the correct way. You're supposed to be doing this way, or we're doing this many reps, or the count is this many seconds. So just from that alone, the workout builder is kind of like where we live on a day-to-day basis for our kids.
Yeah, I think, one of the things you said there that I think is really cool that is usually a hang up for most coaches is the fact that they want to see it the way they want to see it, and some people want to see it in that kind of workout, that the card view at the rack or whatever it may be. Some coaches want to see it on the TV screen or they want to print out the cards or whatever they might be. What I really like about what Rock Days has done is been able to um, give you several different ways to view the workout card and the workout builder, and kind of give it to the coach how they want to see it. And I think that's important. You're not pigeonholed into just what one particular person's um, vantage point may be. You talked a little bit about PR, and I know, recently they came out with a new dashboard around, kind of PRs and creating that kind of internal competition amongst the athletes. Talk a little bit about that dashboard that you were telling me
Yeah.
about.
So before, like we would use the assessment detail dashboard where as we're inputting data live, or as soon as we sync our Skyhook or Dasher data, it would show them, hey, all the kids, hey, green, you improved, red, you did not improve. But with their new PR board, we can really highlight those kids individually that are just being absolute rock stars in whatever assessment that we're doing. Again, we use Skyhook Jump Mat for all of our vertical jump testing, and they API with Rock Daisy. So it's as simple as API sync it up. 1 to 2 minutes later, all that data is all loaded up here. And then as soon as it's up, it's on the TV for the kids to see. So all the kids can see, hey, I made a PR today. It was 11.3 percent higher. And how many days has it been since you PR? And so now you're really recognizing those athletes individually, as opposed to having this giant board of colors and numbers, which was beneficial. But now, hey, we can really have those one-on-one conversations. Hey, so and so, hey, you did a really good job. You're really working hard. You improved by 9.3%. Or even like small victories. Hey, look, you've improved by 1.9%. Hey, we're still finding a way to get better every time you come in this world. That's kind of really what we want. That kind of goes back to our pursuing excellence point, our motto. Everybody has great in them, and stuff like this allows them to see what that is, and then that hopefully will motivate them to continue to train appropriately and do what they need to do when they're around us for the 45 to 90 minutes we have them.
Yeah, well said. I like that a lot. For the coach that's looking at this and they're like, man, this looks very complicated to me. I don't know how I can create all this. What would you tell them about kind of taking on some technology like an athlete management system?
I mean, if you're coming from the world I came from and where you are, the football world, you already do it. You're already having to sit there and plug in kids to kids, whatever platform you use to look at film. Some schools are using some sort of platform for recruiting. It's the exact same thing. It's now we're just trying to put everything we do in the weight room, numbers wise, all of our training, all in one centralized place. It just makes your life tremendously easier having everything in just one click instead of having all these tabs open and we're bookmarks saved and trying to find this or trying to find that. Because especially with cooking, a lot of coaches, time is
Critical.
critical. You can't get back time, especially at the high school level. I mean, you don't have a lot of it. You're
Sure.
doing times right now. Hey, we're doing workouts in the morning. open season right now. Football's on the field. Recruiting. Little Billy got sent to the office. So and so's mom wants to talk. No, you get the more things you can do to streamline your efforts and to create you time, I think it's just a no-brainer. And things like Rock Daisy AMS, whether you're going to be as bougie as we are, where we have 4 or 5 different products that sync into it, or hey, you just want to jump on the workout builder that kind of streamlines everything. I think it's well worth your time, especially the price points. I it's honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that. You're obviously a guy that embraces technology. What's next for you with Rock Days? What are you looking to do next with this platform?
Really excited. Yeah, I saw the partnership with Player Data, GPS. This year was our first little dabble in GPS, and we use Player Data. So we're really hoping to try to lock you in to see how we can make Player Data, an integral part into our system, and see how Rock Daisy can make that process even better. And then really dialing in our VBT that we use with the node and making that a transformational piece and making Rock Daisy you generate reports and band leaderboards and things like that to where we can just take our program to the next level. Our school is a little bit different where we got who we got. Nobody. We don't we don't have some of the luxuries at these other schools where kids just kind of just show up out of nowhere or transfer portals and all that mess. We got who we got. So we are trying to squeeze every bit of juice that we can out of our kids to make them the best athletes as possible and the best people as possible. So hopefully we can do those things and make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're doing that, in spades. You guys you're playing for a state championship in one of your sports tomorrow, and we wish you the best of luck with that. What for the coaches that want to stay up with you and what's going on at Berkeley there? Where can they follow you?
Yeah, all my stuff's the same on all social media. Fly Coach 68 on I guess it's called X now, X and Instagram. I'm 30, so I have a Facebook as well. So you can find me on Facebook. Weight room wise, same, all the stuff's still the same. It's going to be stag_strength on both X and Instagram. And then shoot, you can, if you want to email me a question, anybody, flyw@bcsdschools.net. More than happy to reach out to anybody and everybody. At some point, I reached out to somebody long time ago. So only feels right to give it back in the same way.
1,000%, man. Well, appreciate you jumping on. I know it's late for you there, but really appreciate you taking the time and sharing with everybody.
Oh, not a problem. I appreciate it.